Good afternoon, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is January the 17th, 2025, and today the topic is nothing has changed, nothing to lose. Happy Friday. It's Happy Friday, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful week thus far. Mine is just fine. Yes, mine has been good overall. I'm back. I'm back. Look, 2 times this week. So, I mean, that's something. That's a little something. um, yeah, y'all know I've been still kind of seeking the Lord about my consistency here with the juice. Um, but I came back today because I felt led. I feel so. So when I say I feel led, one of the things that I guess prompts me to come and share the juice, because like I told you guys, I still study my. I still take time every day really to study. But again, like things that I feel like I'm supposed to share with y'all is what I've been doing. That's what I've been only sharing out of my studies lately. Because again, I feel like a lot of it is for me, right? So basically, what tends to prompt me that hey, you might need to share this outside of thinking hey, you might need to share this is if I get a title, basically. So when titles start to come in my head, then I'm like, oh, let me, go deeper about whatever it is that I'm thinking about, right? And so that's what I mean in regards to saying I feel led to come and share. So, yeah, man, this title came into my heart and mind. It started out with again, the question, nothing has changed. And then obviously, it wrapped back up with, again, nothing to lose. I would say there's a lot of things that inspired today's conversation. Yes, things I've observed over the years, but maybe something that happened this week. I won't get too deep into, I guess, the particulars of that, but I'll just say again, I made an observation, and I think as I was making the observation, because I don't know the individual, right, personally. I was about to get ready to know the individual, but anyway, I don't know the individual personally, but when the things happened the way they did, and I was, I guess, seeking clarity, I feel like perhaps the Lord was kind of helping me shed some light on that particular situation and why things happened the way they did. And I'm like, okay, Lord, well, you know what I mean? Like, in regards to that particular situation, I had to just dust my feet, wash my hands, it seemed like it was blocked from me or whatever the case may be. So on one hand, I'm thankful in that regard that if it was going to be something that I didn't need to be involved with or whatever, then I'm grateful, right? But on the other hand, man, I've been really seeking the Lord about this because on one hand, his word is clear about us loving people, you know what I'm saying? Giving grace and mercy and all those wonderful things. And so I'm like, okay, Lord, I'll be trying to do that. But at the same time, man, I've been, I guess, exercising this boundary setting thing, right? Exercising this thing of giving up things that aren't mine or not like carrying people's burdens fully and stuff like that. So even with the situation happening the way it did, I'm like still caring about the person, you know what I mean? And being like, well, Lord, this person, reached out or whatever the case may be. And it seemed like they got some serious things are on their mind, X, Y, and Z. And I'm here, right? I wanted to help by all means. But at the same time, with them again making the decisions that they made, whatever the case may be, it just kind of got to be like, all right, well, I guess it wasn't supposed to be to me to help you outside of prayer because that's what I ended up doing. But then, I still be thinking about the people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, Lord, what you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like, because I don't even really know this person at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So, not to be like I don't care about you because I don't know you, but it's because obviously I do. I'm sitting here, praying and talking about the situation now. But what I'm saying is that, like, when in those moments, it kind of can get frustrating, right? To be like, what you want me to do with this, Lord? You know what I mean? Like, who am I? And what you want me to do? So again, I do what I feel led to do, which is ultimately pray and stuff. But at the same time, obviously, I guess the Lord wanted me to share this with y'all. Like, I wouldn't have went even this deep about the conversation, or whatever the case may be. But here he is, got me sharing today. So I guess it was something for me to share in this regard. So with all that being said, without going again into that particular situation about this week, but just overall, in general, what I've observed in a lot of people, especially people that I've tried to help, I'll put it like that, is that people we say, and I maybe this is just in general, so this is everybody, because I think we all have been there at one point, right? So a lot of times we say, right, man, we see someone with blessings, or we see somebody maybe with the lifestyle that we aspire, or whatever the case may be, and we want those things, and we say to the Lord, I want that. I want to get there. Sometimes people can use it as motivation to say, hey, Lord, okay, you did it for them, you can do it for me, right? And then they go forward with motivation. But then some people, they say that, and they do want it in deep inside, but they don't make any effort towards the thing, right? They don't go for it. They don't step out on faith. They get distracted. They get whatever way that reasons why people don't go forth, right? And I think that was on my heart and mind. Basically, this type of thing was on my heart and mind this morning, because again, it's one thing, again, to say that you want something, but it's another thing to actually put forth the effort to achieve the thing that you said you want. And I believe that, God has taken me through my journey to be able to assist and help people, but at the same, with their journey, because I am, without getting too deep into me, basically, I believe that God has equipped me, right, to be able to help people on their journey, whether it's just through this, sharing it on the juice, or whether it's one-on-one coaching, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? I do believe, right, me writing my book, all that different type of stuff, I feel like are ways that God is allowing me to, each one teach one, right? Reach the next person, whatever the case may be. And like I said, I know it can just kind of get difficult sometimes, because on one hand, especially again, people that I've just really been intentional about pouring into, it can get difficult to like not see them get to that next level. And I really, really want to see them get to that next level, right? Sometimes I feel like it's more than they do. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, I can't do anything if it's more than what you want to put in. It's just your life at the end of the day. I can tell y'all my testimony all day long. I can sit here and say steps like what I did to get to where I'm at and all the different type of stuff. But at the end of the day, like, if people aren't willing to take the next step, right, or to, have a little faith, or to like let go of their what is the word, let go of their anxieties, right, fears, doubts, all those different type of things, and just step out on faith, then you're gonna forever stay in the situation you're in. And I guess the question today, right, is that if you've done this over and over and over again, right, and you don't see nothing changing in your life, then you really truly have nothing to lose to try Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really don't. Like, that's what I broke it down to, or that's what it boiled down to in my heart and mind, at the end of the day. Because, yeah, we... And it's not about, again, me, right, helping the person. At the end of the day, again, like, I think, again, God has taken me through my journey to say, you know what? There's some things I have to just, again, let people go their own journey. It's going to take whatever time they take. There's, in that regard, there's no rush. You know what I'm saying? Because God, it's all in God's timing, right? I probably just planted the seed. Somebody else probably going to water it, like the Bible says, But at the same time, too, I can't, help but feel a sense of urgency. You know what I mean? Like, again, when I look at and I observe what's going on in life, I know people have said it's the end of times, forever and a day. But, again, there's something special happening about these days and times, in my little humble opinion, right, that makes me feel the sense of urgency, right, to say, hey, man, you done did about 10 years of you doing this same thing. You know what I mean? Like, you done did about 20 years, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you want to try Jesus? You know what I'm saying? Like, at least try, you know what I mean? Try his way, So anyway, there's inspiration. That's where the inspiration came from. So let's get into this conversation. I mean, I guess technically the conversation has already started, right? But let us get into some details because I could probably sit here and go on and on about my personal opinions. So let me give y'all the word, right? So one of the first verses that stood out to me to share this morning was John 11:56. It says, "Then sought they for Jesus and spoke among themselves as they stood in the temple, what think ye, that he will not come to the feast?" So I know that's probably like a random verse. You know what I'm saying? It's probably one of them ones that's like, don't stand out that much. Like, what's the point of this one, right? But like when you think about it again, like I guess for me and it being a part of this conversation is it's just pretty much talking about how the disciples were waiting for the Lord. You know what I mean? They were waiting for him to arrive. They wasn't sure if he was coming. You know, all these different type of things. And so we are like that as well, right? In life, we could be sitting there waiting. We waiting. Now again, true believers and true people that are reading the Bible, you're gonna see that there's times to wait. You know what I'm saying? And in Rome, we're waiting on the Lord, right? But then there's times where we're supposed to be doing some work while we wait. You know what I'm saying? There's times we're supposed to be making some type of step, some type of move, some type of effort, some type of something. It's not just about sitting and waiting. And thinking that you ain't gonna do nothing, right? And just wait. You know what I mean? So two different conversations, but anywho, let me keep going before I go on and on and on. I'm about to get to these comments in a minute. I'm sorry, I gotta stay focused on this right here. So friends, so doing the same things over and over without change. So we know that people call that insanity, right? I went deeper about that today, and they attribute that quote to Albert Einstein, Albert Einstein, and but they say they don't know if he was the one that said it or not. Basically, when I did a little research about that particular quote this morning, but regardless of if we think it's insanity to do the same things over and over again, I was like, let me focus on what the Bible got to say. Like, what does that look like biblically, doing the same things over and over again? So let's talk about it, y'all. I got a little list. All right. The Bible calls that futility. A quick definition of that pretty much means pointless. That's what the Bible calls doing the same thing over and 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 over again. Pointless. Now, again, we got free will, so if you want to do that with your own life, by all means, you got the free will to do that, you know. But if you have done that, and I've been there now, okay, so I'm talking about myself, and maybe even myself now, like myself back in the day, and then maybe myself now in some ways, not all the ways, but maybe in some ways. So that's why I have to challenge myself to do something different. I'll tell y'all about that. I feel like I need to tell y'all, my testimony about last night and this morning, because look, the enemy was busy. But anyway, futile, doing things over and over and over again, and it's pointless. Like I said, whether you want to see that as insane or pointless, either way, it don't sound like that's a good thing to do. If you're not doing the same type of things that is like helping you grow and mature and things like that, and it's just keeping you in the same place you've always been, then either insanity nor pointless sounds good to me, you know. So again, you have nothing to lose to try Jesus in the way he want to do it. If you really truly think about it, you know what I mean? Because again, like I not just trying to plug my book, but I mean, this is where I went deeper about all of my issues as I was doing that as a single woman. And what helped me to change my life was to look at myself in the mirror and say, Miracle, you've been doing this same type of thing over and over and over and over and over again. Like, what is it that the Lord wants you to do at the end of the day? Like, what is it that is missing truly? And I realized that was Jesus. Now, everybody else might come up to some other conclusion, you know, and you feel free to do that. But if you're here, right, listening to the sound of my voice in any capacity, whether it's on the podcast or you watch it live, whatever it is, then I think you're here because the Lord is encouraging you and inspiring you to try it his way. Try it his way. For real, though. You know, don't just say that and then don't make no effort and don't do none of the stuff and then say, well, I tried. You know, that's we're going to talk about that more in a minute. But, yeah, like, try for real and try it his way and see what he do. Now, for me, what he did, again, has changed my life. Here I am today, sharing daily inspiration. Well, sharing inspiration and things of that nature, right? With this platform, with the multiple books that the Lord has allowed me to publish, with, like living my dreams. Now, is everything perfect? No. Am I the perfect wife? Probably not. Am I the perfect mom? Perhaps I'm not that either. But what I'm saying is that I know my life has changed. And when I think about, like, again, single miracle, the miracle that's on the front, there's a whole playlist that's on the channel right now, because I have no shame in my game to tell y'all where I came from. At the end of the day, y'all can go look at it. It's now on the God Six Love channel. It's the whole playlist back in the day, about 13 years ago. Me with a little fro, being single in my apartment, stewing over the things and the way that my life was, and being single and all those different type of things. And I don't want to go back to being her. Like, I mean, nothing wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? She got me to be where I'm at today. But I don't want to go back to those days. I'm fine with these days. You know what I'm saying? And whatever the Lord wants to do beyond these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that makes me question, again, like when people, on one hand they say they want something, right? And then they don't make no efforts. It's like either you like being where you at, or you're just scared to change. And we done talked about that in a variety of ways here on the GSL channel. I'm always over here talking about change and purpose. This ain't nothing new here on GSL, but obviously the Lord sent me here to talk about it today. Again, let me just say the title, friends. The title is, If Nothing Has Changed Out of the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 45 years of you doing the same thing over and over again, then hey, you got nothing to lose to try, for real, to do it God's way. Let's keep going. That was just the first example of what the Bible has to say about doing the same things over and over again. Next few things, maybe I can list it out, or unless the Lord wants me to expound. But the next thing is hardening the heart. So as you continue to do the same things over and over and over again, it's hardening your heart to the Lord. It's hardening your heart to the things of God. And it's making it easier for you to sin, right? It's making it easier for you to keep walking in that path and doing that the same thing over and over and over again, until ultimately you pass away and then nothing is accomplished with you in your life. And I'm not talking about finances and all that, those type of accomplishments. I'm talking about the accomplishment of whatever your life was supposed to do to encourage and inspire the next person. You know what I'm saying? Like, that part is probably more beneficial and not expensive. What's the other word? Valuable is more valuable than whatever funds you can create. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know who I encourage and inspire by doing these things here on GSL. You know what I'm saying? Every now and then I get some confirmation and some affirmation, and I appreciate y'all for that, right? But majority of the time, I don't know who's watching and listening. And I may not ever meet you in person or nothing like that. But if whatever I'm saying is encouraging and inspiring you to like make that next step in your life, and you really change your life from whatever the Lord is sharing with me, for me, and through me, then that was my purpose, friends, and I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? But some of us, again, we never get to the point where we are actually walking in and living our purpose because we are too scared, or we living in fear, or whatever it is, and I hope you're encouraged and inspired to let that go, friend, because there's just too much to do. You know what I'm saying? Again, the Bible tells us that the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few. So we need more laborers, man. Again, the Bible tells us how some of us are still stuck on meat, on milk, when we're supposed to be on meat and teaching and stuff. So again, like I told y'all last time I was here, how that encouraged me to be obedient and go forth with what the Lord was giving me. And again, I've seen fruit, from that. Like, I feel like all the things y'all see and witness that your girl is doing is fruit to me, and I see how God is blessing in the midst of those things, right? But I don't know where I would be if April 1st, 2020, I didn't go ahead and get up and start doing the juice. I don't know. What would I be doing? I have no clue. Would I be sitting here sharing daily inspiration or something? Probably not. Because I still would be trying to wait probably to do GSL the way that I had it in my heart and mind to do it. When God had a totally different way to do it. And it's, I feel like, reached even further because I've been able to talk to amazing people from around the world that I probably would have never met or talked to if I had just did GSL the way that I was thinking about doing it, which would probably been recording in person, getting some people together, here, in Georgia, like, and not to say that nothing's wrong with that, but what I'm saying is that sometimes we got to go with what the Lord is doing. No way. I think that might be number. Oh no, that's later on. Sorry, I'm still on the list. I'm still on the list of what it's called to do the same things over and over again. But we'll talk more about that in a second about that other part. Let me keep going on this list, y'all. So we know that it's pointless, it's futile, right? We know that it's hardening our heart, and now we're walking in darkness, right? And that's why most of us is confused. We over here like, whoa, what's my purpose? Who am I? What am I created for? If you think you was created at all, because there's some people, I just evolved from, that's a whole nother conversation. But we're walking in darkness, friends. That's the point. That's another way. That's what doing the same things over and over and over again does. Like when you start to, again, follow Christ, then you're going to be walking in the light, right? You're going to be like, okay, and he might not reveal everything. I talked about that before as well. Like, he might just reveal, here, take this first step. You see this little light right here? Boom, you walked here. Okay, you see the next light? Go over there. All right, you see the next light? Go over there. And then next thing you know, you walking in your purpose, right? But again, if you're not doing that, if you keep choosing to go your own way and keep doing the same things over and over and over again, then you're just walking in darkness. And I mean, I don't want to continue to do that in my life, but I don't know. Is this encouraging you to not do that in yours? We'll see. We'll see. Let me give you guys some more. What else is it called? It's called, now all of this might be pulp, which I call things you might not like. Everything I'm saying is probably things you might not like, but you might not really like this one. The Bible say it's like a dog returning to its vomit. Ew. Who wants that in their mind right now? But I mean, that's biblical. That's what the Bible says, right? Doing the same things over and over again is like a dog returning to its vomit. If you think that's nasty, right, to vomit and then eat it again and then vomit and eat it again, then stop doing the same things over and over and over and over again. Because that's what it's like, according to the Bible. And I mean, I think it's nasty, but hey, some people might like vomit. I don't know. No, not trying to be funny about it. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Why do we do that to ourselves? That's the question that we should ask ourselves. Like, why am I doing this to myself? Again, even after I started to make some changes, you know what I'm saying? Even after I started to be like, seeing this in myself and saying, you know what? I got to do some stuff different. So then I had to, like, again, put some stuff in practice. You know what I'm saying? I had to, like, let go of some stuff. Like, calm down on this for a season. Calm down on that. You know what? Hey, I know we had a little friend with benefit situation going on, but look, I got to stop doing this right here. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe just the friend part if you want to, maybe not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to do that back in the day in order to get to where I am today. Like, if I really wanted, right, love, marriage, commitment, all the stuff that I said I wanted, I had to live accordingly. Am I saying anything wrong here? I mean, not, and it's not about that. It's about, like, am I saying anything that's going to help you today? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you doing it to yourself? Because at the end of the day, nobody else can do it for you. Like, you can come and say, Miracle, I want you to coach me on getting to the next step. Whatever it is, you can say all of that. But I can't do it for you, though. I really can't. You know what I'm saying? I think, again, God already took me through my journey, especially last year, to be like, you know what, Miracle, look, some things is only for me to do. And I was like, you know what? You're right, Lord. You're right. Some things is too heavy for you to be carrying. Some things is these people's own burdens. You know what, Lord, you're right. And I ain't gonna lie, man. I still think and pray for the people. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And that can still get frustrating, too, because I'm like, Lord, well, I still got to think about the people, though. See, that's real Miracle, right? That's Miracle deep down. But see, that's how we got to try to look, crucify myself and be more like Christ, right? Christ, Jesus, he always gonna love the people. But what I'm saying is that, like, that can get too heavy, right? To sit here and be trying to carry somebody else's burden for them. So God is taking me through that to learn that, right? Come alongside you, yeah, I can do that. Carry your whole load and try to change your life for you, no, I can't do that. At the end of the day, I got my own life to live, right? And but who can do that? Jesus the Christ, right? He did that, right? And so that's why we got to get in alignment with what he already did versus trying to, again, keep doing things on our own and coming up with the same results that we are having. This must be resonating because I see comments on it, but we gonna get these comments in the after show, y'all. Let me keep going. I'm still on the list. Okay, the last thing that was on this list about what it's like to do the same things over and over again, it says living in the flesh. Living in the flesh, friend. That's all it is. And one of the things that I shared in my book, it was something that a friend of mine, or I guess an old friend, said to me. That was encouraging back in those days. And basically they reminded me that there's a spirit man, or he said a dog, basically. He was like, there's a spirit dog and a flesh dog fighting within you. And, he was like, you know which one's going to win? Basically the one you feed. So at the end of the day, if you feed in that flesh, the flesh is always going to win. And I saw one of those little images or one of those little memes that talk about like the flesh don't care about the afterlife because the flesh ain't going with you to the afterlife. That's another conversation to think about. But what I'm saying is that, again, like, we can overcome the flesh, like we can have control. And I guess that's why here the Lord is to lead me to my testimony for today. So y'all know I'm in the midst of 21 days of prayer. Shout out to Mount West. And even this morning, the Lord woke me up this morning or last night, really, like 11 something, whatever time it was last night. And I was up ever since, until like finally I went back to sleep after my husband went to work and whatnot. And then, but anyway, so I was up all those hours, and in between those hours, seeking the Lord, thinking, praying, all the different types of stuff. I was being tempted with one of my things that I'm taking a break on. Now, y'all know the Bible say, you know what I'm saying, that married folk, I'm talking to the married folk, we supposed to be coming together frequently, right? And things of that nature, except, right, when you agree, right, with the fasting, right, and things of that nature. But even then, come on back together, right, so you don't get tempted. Now, that's Bible. Y'all can go look it up. But anyway, so that's one of the things, obviously, that we are, with 21 days of prayer and fasting, you know what I'm saying, restraining ourselves from coming together biblically, knowing each other. People got an issue with sex, but we can talk about it we'll talk about that another time, because that's a whole nother conversation. People got an issue with that word sex. Y'all is coming for me in the comments about God, sex, and love, but whatever. So that is what we restraining from that because of the fasting, right? And so here I am being tempted by that. You know what I mean? In the midst, we got one more week pretty much. After tomorrow, it'll be one more week because it'll end next Saturday. But anyway, and I'm like, Lord, okay. You know how I'm feeling right now, Lord. And what's coming with this temptation? You know what I'm saying? Like, why am I so like heavy on the temptation right now? So I'm going deep about all that. I'm praying and doing my thing to fight, right? And be like, no, I'm not going. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let me focus. Let me pray. Let me do something different, right? You got to practice, right, to be able to do that. Because if you just keep allowing yourself to control your flesh, right, to control you, then I probably would have fell short, and this would have been another conversation. If I had the conversation today, this would have been another conversation. Oh, well, I'm in the midst of 21 days of prayer, and I just couldn't resist, and so I had to just, take care of myself, or I had to attack my husband, so we fell short. You know what I mean? Like, this would be a different conversation. But the conversation I can share with you all today is that I had to push through, right, and pray and do something different and fight my flesh, like, and build my spirit, right, in the midst of that. And so I share that to say that, again, this is something that we have to actively do. Because if we keep doing the same things, we're living in the flesh versus fighting the flesh. And so that's the list of what it's like to keep doing the same things over and over and over again. All right. So let's get into some Bible verses. Here's the ones that I felt led to share this morning, this afternoon. Romans 12:2. It says, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is What is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God? Y'all can go see exactly what it says. I know I probably jumbled it up, and probably the reason I probably jumbled it up because the Lord wants you to get your Bible and open it up and make sure or find out what I was supposed to say. But anyway, basically, I mean, I've shared this verse multiple times here on GSL. This ain't no new verse, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm receiving is that we need to renew our minds. And I know it seems so simple and it seems so like, that can't be all I need to do. Renew my mind, that's it. But sometimes, yeah, all you got to do is change your mind about whatever it is. You know what? Okay, like I said, again, me praying last night or this morning, like, okay, let me change my mind about what I think, right, I want right now. And seek the Lord about what I really need right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, seek the Lord about what he want to give me right now versus like what I quote unquote want. And we got to do that in our lives though, with everything. Like, not just about my example, but like about everything, you know? So again, change your mind, change your life. Am I saying something profound or different? You know what I mean? Or, you know, probably not. This is age-old biblical wisdom. But what I'm saying is that, you know, a lot of us aren't operating it. We're not walking in it. We're not practicing it, you know. My whole thing is if you claim to be a believer and this is not what you're practicing, then, I mean, are you really a believer? You know, renew your mind, friends. Then you're going to start to see some of the change. Again, title says, if nothing has changed, you have nothing to lose. So go ahead and try renewing your mind and doing something different. The next verse that I felt led to share is John 8:36. It says, if the Son therefore shall make you free, ye shall be free indeed. I mean, are you free today? Look, right before the fast, a few weeks ago or whatever, I've been watching a lot of side notes, random. But anyway, I've been watching a lot of that show, Are You Being Served? I was just watching it on YouTube. I think it used to come on PBS. But anyway, they like to, they often ask each other, are you free? And then they're like, yes, I'm free. So, but friend, are you free today? Are you free? Then yes, walk as if you are free. Live as if you're free. That thing that tempts you, you ain't got to go that way. You ain't got to do that thing. You could deny yourself. It's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have some self-control. It's one of the fruits of the spirit, you know? In whatever capacity that may be. You know what I'm saying? Choose love rather than hate. You know, we can go on and on and on about this, y'all. But let me give you, I think, was there another verse? Yeah, Hebrews 13:8. It says, Jesus Christ the same yesterday and today and forever. At the end of the day, he doesn't change. This situation, what he's offering, will not change. According to this, you know what I'm saying? So, again, like, we can walk in the freedom, friends. We can walk in the way of the Lord. Now, y'all may be wondering, like, well, Miracle, what you talking about? Like, how can I do this in my life? This is too hard, whatever. So, I went deeper about ways to try Jesus, y'all. Like, so if you really ready, you know what I'm saying, to try for real, you know, and make some changes and stuff like that, and you need practical advice, then go check out the show notes, because I typed it out for you. But if you don't want to check out the show notes, here they are. I'm going to read them. Hopefully they will encourage you, inspire you. There's 10 ways, 10 practical ways, things you can do. Yes, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, I believe in you, whoever you are, right? So you can do it. Don't get discouraged. These are 10 things to do. Y'all ready? Get your pen and paper if you need it. Here you go. All right. 10 things you can do. Start with daily prayer. Yes, I know they're like, oh, you just gonna say pray about it. Yeah, well, the Bible tells us that we should always pray. We should always be praying, right? And it ain't about just kneeling and all, you know, always making it a big moment. It could be just, Lord, what you want me to do about this? You know, real quick, you know, whatever the case may be. It could be you thinking the prayer, whatever it is. Be in communication with the Lord. You can't know what he's saying if you ain't talking to him. You know, cast your cares on him. Those things, those temptations, those doubts, those fears, all that. Hey, Lord, you could even tell him, hey, man, I'm afraid. There's nothing wrong with that. That's still a prayer. You know, be in communication with the Lord. Okay. And then don't just talk, but listen too. Okay. But At least start with that, right? And do it every day, every day. All right, so here we go. Another practical thing. Read and apply the word. They say that you can't say that God ain't speaking if you ain't read the Bible. If you ain't reading the Bible, I guess he ain't speaking to you. You know what I'm saying? Now, not to say he can't speak outside the Bible. Of course he can. But what I'm saying is that you can get more information about what he's saying through the word. So pick it up and read it, y'all. Especially if you're a believer. If you're a believer not reading the Bible, all right. Y'all can fill in the blank there, I think. Anyway. Number three. This might be the hard one. But surrender control, friends. We got to surrender the control. We got to be like Christ. He said, Lord, not my will, but your will. At the end of the day, it was clear he didn't want to go to that cross and get beaten and all the type of stuff. Like, it was clear. He was praying and sweating and bleeding and whatnot. You know, saying that he really didn't want to do that. But hey, not my will, but your will. Again, me last night, this morning, okay, I had to be like, you know what? All right, hold on. Not my will, your will, Lord. And again, I feel like everything happened for a reason. I didn't know that I was about to do the juice today. I didn't know any of that. But everything happens for a reason, friends. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I pushed through. I'm grateful that I said, you know what, denied myself, whatever, you know, to stay focused on, again, what the Lord has me doing. You know what the enemy even tried to put in my mind? Like, well, technically, you started this whole 21 days of prayer just because the church did it. It ain't because you decided to do it. It's because, you know, the church decided, you know, having the 21 days of prayer. And so technically, that's why y'all doing it. But it's like, well, even so, still the Lord can get the glory out of it. You know what I'm saying? And still the Lord can take me on my journey that he's allowing. And obviously, since you tempted me right now, there must be something you trying to stop. And here I am talking the next few hours later. So just saying, if he's done it for me, he can do it for you. And here's the thing. The enemy is going to fight you, right, when it's something you need to do. Like, when I was, living in sin and all of that good stuff, like, there wasn't nothing stopping me, really. Like, I mean, outside of conviction after the fact. You know what I'm saying? I'm be honest, you know? So, those things that you're getting that pushback, that thing that's kind of like, you're feeling like, oh, I don't really want to, or whatever, the things of God that he's asking you to do, push through and do it, friend. You never know. That might be that life-changing thing you need to do. All right, that's a word for somebody, I believe. But anyway, build faith through small steps. Y'all know this is what I did. Y'all know I tell y'all all the time. Look, piece by piece, I was starting to give things to the Lord. Again, it multiplied my faith times 10 when I met my husband, because I was like, you know what, Lord, you really was listening to me back in the day. You really seen this dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, especially because, again, back, if you read my book, if you listen to my videos that I did back then, y'all know that I feel like I didn't have what was in my head. I wasn't around me. You know what I mean? Like, no shade to the guys that I dealt with at that particular time, but, you know, it wasn't like they didn't want what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? Or at least not with me. So, you know, so what I desired wasn't around me, and he literally wasn't around me. Like, when we did the timeline of where we were at that particular time, I was like, man, I've been in Florida, you know, whatever. And he was like, well, I was overseas serving, you know what I'm saying? And he was in the military. So he literally was not around me. You know what I mean? But God had put that in me, right? Let me know that, hey, you know, there's someone for you. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, this life for you, you know, different things of that nature that I held on to get me again to be where I'm at today with the choices that I made, you know? And again, I ain't acting like I'm perfect now. You know what I'm saying? I tell you all the time, hey, I fall short. You know what I mean? I fell short even after I got all the revelations I shared in my book. You know what I'm saying? I still, you know, made some choices that probably was questionable. You know what I'm saying? And wasn't the best choices to make at that particular time. But the Lord still, he was faithful, right? He provided. He made a way. And here I am today. So, just saying, that multiplied my faith meeting him. And then at that point, once I met my husband and started to see things come to fruition, the things that have been on my heart and mind, my dreams, the desires of my heart, right? Then I started to be like, well, Lord, what you gonna do if I give you my business then? What you gonna do if I let you control my finances then? What you gonna do if I just trust this and that. And do it in pieces if you got to, friend, but just do it. I share all that to say, you know, take small steps of trust if you need to, you know what I'm saying? And then be honest with the Lord about it. Hey, Lord, you know, when I'm just going to start attempting to trust you in this area first, you know what I'm saying? And then it'd be good to jump in and rip the band-aid off. Like I always, you know, if you can do it that way, do it. But if you can't, right, if you're struggling with that, then at least try piece by piece, step by step, small steps at a time, friend. What else can we do? Serve others, friends. Find ways to serve others, whether that's volunteering, whether that's, you know, whatever it is. Find some ways to serve. You know, I think that helps us see the bigger picture, that things ain't always about you. Because we like, look, that main character energy, right? We like that, right? Everything's about me. I talked about that, how that my son is, you know, we can talk about anything. It don't matter what it is. Oh, I just made me a peanut butter sandwich. What about my peanut butter sandwich? Like, everything's always about him. But look, at some point, we got to grow up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's 6. He can get away with it a little bit longer. Us, we 30, 40, 50. Everything ain't about us. And so I think, again, if we understand that and start serving or whatever the case may be, then hopefully that'll help us change our minds and perspectives about some stuff. But anyway, something else to do. I'm laughing because I feel like the Lord is just going in through me right now. I didn't know that. But anyway, so serve others and then surrounding yourself with believers. Look, this one that I'm like, yeah, come get some coaching if you need some coaching. But it ain't about the coaching, really. It's about, again, surrounding yourself with people, like-minded believers. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be surrounding themselves with people that, like, don't have any, like, they don't want the things you want. They don't want to do the things you want to do. They, like, it ain't... And I know opposites attract. I'm not saying, like, don't, you know, again, believers just be in a huddle and don't be around other people. But what I'm saying is that if you're somebody that is in this position where you're struggling with trusting the Lord and you're struggling with, you know, making the next step in your life and changing your life for real and stuff like that, then you don't need to be surrounding yourself with people that's going to continue to do the stuff you've been doing that you know you're trying to get out of. You might need to separate yourself from them people and get around some people that's going to help build you up and stuff like that. And that like, you know, so again, whether that's getting like an accountability partner, you know what I'm saying, or whether that's just going to your church, getting plugged in, getting in a small group, or whatever it is, friend. But like, you got to get around people that's like-minded. Like, you can't be, you know, oh, I'm just going, okay, I don't want to, you know, be out here getting drunk and, you know, to the pack. I blacked out last time. So, I don't want to do that anymore. And then you just keep getting around the people that's just going to, you know, keep offering that to you. And nothing else different. Nothing of substance. Nothing that's going to help you get to that next level. Where you can just, maybe just have a casual drink and not get blacked out. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to give examples, friends. But, you know, there's all kinds of stuff. I just don't want to go the drastic route, because people could always be like, oh, you know, if you want to like get off drugs or something. Like, but sometimes it's just as simple as if you want to pray more, but you get around people that like to party and they don't want to pray. That type of thing. Like, I'm just trying to give more practical things so we can gotta see our life in this. You know what I'm saying? All right, something else we can do. Something else we can do is build our faith. I said that. Maybe I need to reiterate. Build our faith through small steps. Surround yourself with believers. Worship and praise God, friends. Again, like, I had to take time to do something different. I can't keep going, doing the same thing. Let me worship and praise the Lord instead of me, being gluttonous and eating 10 meals or something. I don't know. Like, I'm just trying to get more examples outside the norm. But you know what I mean? Like, instead of doing that thing you always do over and over and over again, hey, you know what? Take some time and worship. Take some time and, do something different. All right? Worship and praise the Lord. Okay? That's going to activate and change some stuff in your life as well. And then I think the last thing, let me make sure. No, it's not the last thing. We got more practical advice, friends. Okay? Trust Him in the trials. Like, look, if you listen to this GSL channel at all, then you know that I often share that, man, we're going to have trials and tribulations. Like, we're going to go through stuff. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't be news to you if you follow this channel. So since we know we're going to have the trials, we got to trust God through the trials, right? We got to trust God that, okay, this trial must be for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, either the enemy is attacking me because I got some stuff around the corner, or God is trying to teach me something to build my character. It's one of them things, you know what I mean, when I'm going through trials and tribulations. That's why I try to remind myself when I'm going through things. So, trust God through the trials, all right? Do you need more examples of that? Let me know in the comments. We can talk about it in the after show if we need more examples. But anyway, sharing your testimony, friends. You never know, man. I saw a gentleman that he was, I don't know if he was a full atheist, but I guess he was an unbeliever. And he started to document his journey of, I think it was either Bible studying every day or praying every day. One of those things. He didn't believe or whatever, but he was like, I'm going to test this out, whatever. And he started to document it on YouTube, whatever. Now, of course, he's probably getting views and getting, fruit from that or whatever financially. But my whole thing is, obviously, he did it with the not knowing what was going to happen. And then ultimately, it shifted his heart and mind about prayer and being a believer. And I think he's even going deeper about faith and being a Christian now. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what sharing will do. Whether it's sharing on the video YouTube or sharing in a blog or just sharing with somebody in your life to hold you accountable. You know what I'm saying? That could encourage and inspire the next person. So share your testimony in any regard. All right. And I think now this is the technical last thing, the last practical thing, friends. Commit to obedience. We got to commit to obedience. It's just like before when I was talking about that surrender and control thing. If you commit to being obedient, regardless of how you feel about it, regardless of, how slow you go at it, whatever it is, if you commit to being obedient, then you're going to see some changes, right? You're going to see God working in your life. I'm living witness. This is what's happened to me. And so I know there's plenty of other people that are sharing their testimonies out there and whatnot as well. But I hope this practical advice can encourage you and inspire you. That's ultimately the juice this morning, y'all. Listen, if nothing's changed, you got nothing to lose. Let me give you guys the Bible verse of the day. And that is Proverbs 3:7. It says, be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. Friends, I hope you guys enjoyed this juice this morning, or excuse me, this afternoon. All right. Thank you so much for listening to God, Sex, and Love, your daily dose of inspiration, juice. I pray you guys go forth and have a wonderful day, and I look forward to talking to you all whenever the Lord brings me back, if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.